Hey everyone, thank you for coming back to watch another tutorial. The paint finish I'm going to do today is actually one of my favourite ones. I use it on a lot of furniture. And this one's going to show you how to make painted wood look old and antiqued. So yeah, without further ado, let's get going. So as always, we're just going to go through the list of materials that we're going to use. You need your unpainted project. You need some latex-based paint. For this one, I'm just using an off-white and a barn red, but you can use any color. We're going to use an oil-based stain. The color that's really good for this effect is a color called Provincial, and this one's by Varathane. You're going to need some kind of sander. For this project, again, I'm using an orbital sander. And then finally, we're just going to use a clear coat to finish everything off. For this project, I'm using the Varathane Triple Thick brand. So we're going to start off by taking our latex paint and we're going to very roughly brush it. We don't need to get too much paint on because we're going to go over this again. What we're trying to do is achieve the effect of a paint that's been on there for ages and that's being worn off. So when your bristles hit in some parts, brilliant, and when they don't in others, that's also good, because the parts that don't hit are going to be the parts that get the stain later. As you can see, for this project, I've marked off some areas where I'm going to paint it in a different color. When you do your own project, you can use off-white on everything, and again, it doesn't have to be off-white, it can be any color. Like I say, for this one I'm using an off-white and a barn red. Just taking the whole effect here up the actual arm of the oar. Again, you can see what I'm doing here, just really roughly brushing in this paint. It doesn't need to be uniform all the way up. Now we're going to go over this off-white part for a second time, because what I want to do is I want to build up some paint in areas and not in others. Again, just gently brushing that second coat on the main arm of the oar. Now I'm going to take my second color. You don't have to do two colors on your project. You can just have one color. You can have three colors. It can be anything. But I want to use a nice barn red for this. So I'm going to use the same effect that I used for the rest of the oar and really just roughly brush the paint over so that the brush touches in some spots and not in others. Also with this color, I'm only just going to do one coat because it does cover really quite well, and I personally don't think that this red needs two coats. So once this is dry, this is what your project should look like. Well, not yours, because you're probably not making oars, but this is what my project looks like. So very roughly painted bare wood, and you can see the bits that the paint hasn't took on. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sander. What this does, it blends in any harsh brush strokes, but it also takes off the paint on areas where, if you have a project that's going to have gotten natural wear and tear, such as something like this around the edges, we're just going to lightly take off any paint on those areas. I don't mind using an orbital sander for this kind of project because it's a decorative one, but if you're going to do this on furniture, you probably want to do this by hand using something like an 80 grit, because when you use an orbital sander, you can actually see where the random orbit has made the marks, and that's not the effect that you want on normal furniture. But again, for this kind of decorative project, it's fine. Just highlighting the edges there where you get natural wear and tear and taking off the paint. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our provincial oil-based stain, dip a rag into it and wipe it over the whole piece. What this is going to do is give it that nice aged effect. So you can see there the areas that don't have any paint on that we sanded off, the stain's going to take really well. And the areas that do have the paint, what the stain does is have the effect of coloring the paint so that it looks as though it's old. I'm just concentrating on some of the edges here, just making sure it's all rubbed in. And then I'm going to take a clean rag. I'm literally just going to scrub this in. I say literally a lot, don't I? And you can just rub it as hard as you need to. And you can see there how that gives that great effect of making the off-white paint not look new anymore. It looks as though it's been sitting in a barn for ages. It looks as though it's got that nice old worn look to it. We're just going to carry on doing this over the whole piece. And this is how your project should look after you finish wiping the stain all over it. So there we go. That's how we achieve this antique distressed paint finish. As I said earlier, it's such an easy effect to do. You can use it on a variety of applications. You can use it on your new build furniture, on home decor, like I've made these oars here. You can use it on signs. It really is endless. Try some different base colors. It looks awesome over a sage green. Also try some different stain colors over the top as well. You'd be amazed at some of the effects that you can get. But with that, I hope you've learned something from this tutorial. Come back for the next one. My name's Amanda and I'm from Rustic Duck Furniture. Bye bye.